Okay, duplication and three-way chats. I'm really excited about this topic because this is something that I have struggled with a lot. I used to hate three-way chats because, yes, I wanted people to put me into three-way chats so that I could help them like sign people up and help them like build their business. But there's like a part of me that was like, okay, great. I want them to put me in a three-way chat, but then what do I say? What do I do? I feel like I used to feel like when I would do three-way chats, it didn't go very well. They would kind of like stall out and then it would just be like awkward. And then I didn't know like how to guide the conversation. And so I have been kind of on like a little journey of figuring, because that's something I wasn't good at. And so I decided I wanted to be really good at it because I knew it's an important piece of helping build your business. If you're brand new, then this is what you're going to help. Your sponsor is going to help you do this. But if you're growing a business and you are helping like grow and develop leaders under you, this is such a great way to help them to do that, to help teach them how to guide the conversation. It makes it so simple for new people when they're joining and they're new and there's like all this information. They want to like get the $300 referral cash, or they want to, earn a couple $100 extra from a month from home, or whatever their goals are for sharing with friends. They want to do it, but they don't always know what to do. And that's where you come in as a sponsor to help guide them in that. And these three-way chats are super fun because they're taking that stress off of them. Like they don't have to know anything. They just have to like listen to you and like connect you with their people, and then you can take it from there. So my new business builder, Megan, she's super fun. I'm so excited for y'all to meet her. Hopefully she's coming to convention. But she is signing up her 9th and her 10th person. Like they're signing up tonight. They have their carts and everything. They signed up this month. So it's her 9th and 10th person in March. And 9 of them have come from three-way chats. And so I'm going to show you exactly what they look like, exactly what we've done. I've done like the same flow for every single three-way chat. And I'm going to show you kind of a few different scenarios as far as like, because some of them have just been like, boom, boom, boom. Like one of them, she put me in at 10 a.m. today. And they're signing up tonight. Like they're already set to go. They just have like an event or something they're going to, and then they're signing up. And that one was super quick. Now, then I have like an example to show you of someone who when she first posted and was like adding me to three-way chats, it was like 8 days later that they signed up. And so kind of showing you kind of how I navigated that. And hopefully it will just empower you and like give you some more confidence in developing leaders on your team. So leaders are initiators. Super, super important. I think we've all been there where like we've maybe done a lot. We've been like doing a lot of IPA in action. And then things kind of can stall out a little bit. And we think, okay, like, I've done all the things, or like, I don't know what else to do, or I don't know what else, like what next step to go to. And so what's really important in those situations is what you're saying to yourself. And so right here, I put on the screen, like leadership affirmations. Even you can even write these out and stick them on your laptop or somewhere where you can see them. So that when you do kind of have that feeling, I mean, I feel like this, like at least every other day, probably, where I'm like, you think something's going to go a certain way and then it doesn't quite go that way. And then you're like, okay, now what? I'm like, you can kind of be in limbo of like what next to do. But these are great affirmations. Like I take action. I am a problem solver. I focus on what I can control. Like what next steps can I take? And when you're thinking those thoughts, choosing to think those thoughts, your brain is going to start like working, like solving problems instead of sitting in a place of like, I've done all the things. I don't know what to do next. Rather like switching that to like, okay, I'm a problem solver. Like I focus on what I can control, then your brain is going to start working at like, okay, like, oh, this idea, or maybe do try this. And so like, then you're getting into action and trying things. And then in the trying of those things and being in action, like results come. It's the action is key. Like action is magical when you do it and when you stay in it, when you're consistent. So just really, really important to remember, like you are an initiator, like you're a leader, you're an initiator, like take action and focus on what you can control. And I wanted to read from the 5 levels of leadership, just a little section on this exactly, on what he says, because he says, leaders are initiators. Let him that would move the world first move himself. In order to do anything new in life, we must be willing to leave our comfort zone. That involves taking risks, which can be frightening. However, each time we leave our comfort zone and conquer new territory, it not only expands our comfort zone, but also enlarges us. If you want to grow as a leader, be prepared to be uncomfortable, but know this, the risks are well worth the rewards. So worth it, I promise. Okay, so hopefully this face thing doesn't get in the way. I always wonder if I'm like moving the like little bar of people around, right? When I'm sharing my screen, but we'll do our best. Okay, so this is what I'm going to kind of take you through our conversation, because I wanted to kind of back up a little bit before we start into three-way chats of what it looked like to help her get me into three-way chats. This is a new business builder. This is someone who actually never met. I'm excited to meet her one day in person. Let me get to my page. But we met through a mutual friend on social media, because I helped someone sign up in December. I think it was December, or no, it was January. It was January. She wanted to host I asked her if she wanted to host a party and get the referral cash, and she did. And so we hosted an event for her. And so we did the event, we did some three-way chats. No fruit came from those three-way chats yet. I'm still hopeful. And then the last day of February, because we did her event in February. She joined in January, but we did her event in February. The last day of February, Megan commented on one of the posts in the event and was like ready to start. I was like, oh my goodness, okay, let's do this. And then my friend who I had signed up, who did the event, she did not want to reorder that month. And so I gave her the referral bonus from Megan's order, and we talked about it, and she was like, yeah, just put her under you and I'll just take the referral cash from that. And so that's what I did. So that's how I even met Megan. And so kind of fun. Like, we met through a mutual friend through doing an event. And so, oops, here we go. Okay, so Megan got started. We got her welcome pack. I told her right away, like first day, like, hey, this is like, you can totally earn $300 when you like grab 3 friends to you do this with you. But I didn't hear anything back from her. And so she joined the 28th. She got her products super fast. So it was like February 4th or 5th. I was giving, good customer care, like gave her good steps for getting started, like tips on like how to prepare to start. And all the customer care stuff is in our team page. You can type customer care and find great stuff on that. So I was just like keeping in contact with her. She got her box. She let me know like, oh, hey, I got my box. And so then I helped her like know exactly what to do. And then I still like, I told her again, like, oh my, like you can totally, I mentioned it offhandedly again about like getting referral cash as we were like in this process of like getting her started, getting her, the chart of like how to take your products and all of that. And she didn't say anything about it. Like she didn't really respond to that. And then I sent her this message that says, oh, okay, this is so fun. You can earn an iPad this month. Let me know if you'd like to do this and grab some friends to get healthier with you. I think this is right before she got her welcome pack in the mail, and no response. And then she got her pack in the mail, and then, I helped her get started and everything like that. And then like, here's kind of like another example of like messages, like, thanks for all the tips. It's here, like it's here. So here's her. Let me try to move this bar so you can see it. There we go. Oh, stink, I moved the bar again. I don't even know what this, okay. And then, let's see, she messaged me on the 5th. So she got her products on the 4th. I helped her get started. And then on the 5th, she messaged me like, hey, I have this friend who's interested. And I was like, oh yeah. And I told her, I helped her know what to do, and told her like how to start a three-way chat and what to do with it. And so, she added me to a three-way chat with her friend. but this is before, like, she didn't say that she didn't mention like anything as far as like earning the iPad or earning the cash or anything like that. It was just like, hey, I have this friend interested. And I was like, okay, happy to through chat. And then the next, let's see. And then I offhandedly just mentioned like, oh, you can totally earn $400 in an iPad this month when 6 friends do this with you. Just FYI, I'd love to help you make a post if you're game. That was after she was like, I have a friend interested. I helped her add her 2-3 chat with me. And then I messaged her that and she was like, sure thing. And so then I helped her make a first post. And so I think it's just important to just drip information with people. Vision cast. I was like, as we were chatting and helping her get started, and she was so excited about Pivotal, and I was helping her sign up for that so she could have the workouts and everything. Like I would just like mention it here and there, and like the cash or the iPad. And then, so I just think that really helps when you don't have a response back, like asking, first of all, ask like, hey, would you want me to help you earn this? Or, is this something that sounds fun to you? Or somehow ask them. And then if you don't have a response, that's okay. As you're being, good customer care, helping them get started, you can totally like drip little things like that. And so then I helped her make a first post and told her what to do after she posted. There's that post in the team page. It's called like first, if you type in first post, it will pop up and it's like, how to make your first post and what to say or something like that. And so it tells them what to do, a newbie, what to do, how to make your first post, which I had already helped her like do that. I sent her examples and I'll show you what those look like in a sec. But I wanted her to see like what to do if someone commented, because then it tells them in that post, like, okay, you reply to their comment and then you message them and then you add them to a 3-way chat with your sponsor. And it says exactly what to do. It's super simple. It's in the team page. And so I told her what to do. And then here's the first post examples. I went and found 2 different examples to give to her, copied and pasted them, sent them to her, and was like, here's 2 examples. Which one looks best to you? And she picked the second one. And I tweaked the second one to be more of like, because you can see how I tweak both of them actually. When it gives like health examples like they do in each of those examples, I tweak it at least to include things that they are wanting to see. And so like what she came to me for needing help with in her health. And so I personalized it to her. So it's just easy for her to copy and paste. I tell her to tag me. And so those are the first post examples that I really like either one of those. She liked the second one about and I got that example from Katie Ciccarelli, and then I tweaked it to fit her because she was a new person. And she posted it with a picture, and I coached her on how to post it with a picture. And at first she posted it with like a video. It was like her picture of her pink drink, but it was like somehow she videotized it. And I'm not quite sure how she did that. And I was like, and at first there was no like comments or interaction. And I was like, hey, sometimes it doesn't always get the best interaction rather than just a picture. And so she went and changed it. And I feel like that did help because then she started getting like comments. And I also told her, because at first there was like no comments. I was like, and so I was like, hey, that can happen. You can totally always like delete it, go be super active on your Facebook, comment on people's posts, and then repost it. And she didn't actually do that, but I kind of gave her some tips and told like it was normal. Cause like sometimes you just don't always get a lot of interaction on your first post. And so I didn't want her to think like, oh, something's wrong. So I coached her through that. And then 3-way chat below. Yeah. Anyway, helped her make her first post, helped her know exactly what to do. And then the 3-way chats, I was already in that one from her friend, but then after she posted, then people were seeing her posts. And so not even people were commenting, they were just seeing it and messaging her. And so then she was adding me to 3-way chats. And so this is what they look like. Let me move this bar again. Okay. So she would start it off and like introduce them to me. So you can see what she says, like, hey, Joanna, this is my teacher friend, Christy. She's interested in all the, etc. Can you fill her in? And I would say the same thing, like, so excited for you to learn all the ways this can help you feel awesome. Here's a quick video that shares in a nutshell what this is. And then right after I send that message, I say, what has you curious to try this? Anything on this chart? And then I send the gut health chart. I like this chart because, it's in our team page. I think I can put it in our team chat as well. because there's some gut health charts that are like tons of symptoms. And then there's this one that I created that's like 9 things or whatever. I feel like it's more not as overwhelming. So I've been using this one and it's been working great. So there is a reason why I do the messages in the way that I do them. I don't send all the information in one message. I break it up on purpose. Like that's strategic. That's not like because I'm like typing send, and it's just like happened to go that way. Like I do that on purpose. And so just FYI, I would encourage you to try it that way. I feel like when you break up the information, like you're not giving them a time to respond yet. You want them to see all of this before they respond and before you ask your question. But breaking it up, it's like so much easier for your brain to like go through the information. And that's how my brain works. At least if I see one long message, I'm like, kind of like zone out a little, my brain hurts a little bit. And I have noticed in just my experience and just trial and error, this works really well, breaking it up like this. And so there is a reason why I do that. And then I asked her health goals. And then she says, you can see what she says, almost all of them. And then I said, oh man, like no fun at all. This is where I will either relate to them if I can, or just empathize with them of like, that stinks. Like that sounds miserable. Or I totally get it. Like I had all of those things too, if I did, but you can kind of see how I answered her because I'm not grain free. But I like empathize with her, makes to help her feel seen and like cared for. And then the next step is to share stories. And so then I always say the same thing. Like I was just reading some stories along those lines. One sec, let me grab them. And then I go to the stories and supplements page and I screenshot 4 to 5 different stories that they can relate to share with them. And you can do that by going to the search bar of the stories page, typing in a keyword and like finding some. And if they talk about, for sure, if they talk about weight being something they're looking for, like weight loss, that I like to get before and afters. But overall, I just like to get before and afters is if I can anyway, either of like puffy face. I just feel like they're like more attention grabbing. No, I don't always, because I can't always find like what I'm looking for before and after wise. And then ask Juliana, okay? She'll do it for you. Yeah. Juliana will, or Colt. No. Okay. And then I ask, can you relate to any of these? That's like the next step. Okay, so the first step, you're sharing the Chocflex video, asking their health symptoms. Second step, you're empathizing, relating to what they shared, sending stories. Third step, and I break up the stories again, like on purpose. I do them in order, each at a time. So it's easier for them to like read and for them to see like whose story goes with which picture. I think that's a huge difference. Instead of like sending them all at once where they have to like scroll through, I do this on purpose. And then I ask, can you relate to any of these? Sometimes I'll say like, which one of these can you relate to the most? But I'll either ask that or I'll say, can you relate to any of these? It's just super simple, short question. And then they respond and she says, for sure, joint pain, poor gut health. And this actually even like brought me into like more of what she's looking for, because she didn't share all of that when I first asked her health goals. And so it's like super helpful, like, because then a lot of times they'll share more of like what they're really wanting change in. And so she said that. And then I said, do you want to see a breakdown of the products they took and what we would recommend for you based on your goals? And she says, sure. And then I send them this. The fourth step is sending them their product recommendation with the pricing. And I send the same thing, like the same thing, pretty much. I mean, I'll switch up the products, but I say it the same way. I almost start everyone with triplex. Every now and then I won't, but I would say 95% of the time it's triplex. That's my favorite. If you find what works for you. I got a lot of like, Emily Gibson shared her convo flow of how she talks with people. And then I loved it. And so I started using it, and then I tweaked it to like fit me of like, when I'm talking to my people one-on-one, they're interested in Plexus. And then I took mine, what I found was working for me, of like signing up my own people. And I use that for 3-way chat. So I do the same thing when I'm talking to people, like one-on-one. Like I don't really switch at all. So if I have someone message me and say, hey, I'm interested, like, tell me about this pink drink, I take them through these exact same steps. It's so simple. And it's so much easier for duplication for like your new people. And now when like, you know, my girl goes out and kind of like starts doing her own threads or her own chats, she knows exactly what to do, because it's the same thing every single time. You're just switching it up a teeny bit depending on like what they say they're struggling with and how you respond, like, oh, I totally like relate to that, or not. So you're kind of, you know, I hope that makes sense. Like you are basically saying the same thing to every single person. Or like, for instance, she added me to someone whose name was Joanna too. And I was like, oh, hey, like the best name ever. And then I went into, so excited for you to learn all the ways this can help you feel awesome. So I totally will tweak it just a teeny bit depending on the person, like that, just personalizing it. But I'm still doing the same flow. I'm still following the same steps. And it just makes it so helpful to know like what next, like what's my next step, what to do. And so here we go. I do like, okay, you for sure want to start off with this, with our gut health combo and ease for inflammation. Because I like to recommend Triplex and one other product. So it might be ease, it might be X Factor. It's usually one of those two, sometimes MetaBurn, sometimes Vital Biome, whichever one it is, that's how I'll type it in. And I like to share a video, and I reshare the Triplex video because I found that not everyone always watches it the first time you send it. So I like resend it just to kind of like refresh, like this is the combo. So they know again, like what I'm talking about. So that's how I send it. It's so easy to find those videos on YouTube. You just type in Triplex, Plexus Triplex, and it pops up. And then the ease video is the Jill Warness ease video. That's my favorite one. And so I share that one, and her X Factor Plus one I use as well, because I love all her videos. And then my next thing is, and I do this all in order. Like I have these scripts saved on my phone, so I can just like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and then just tweak a little bit. So I can do it really quick. Because I want to try to send it all before they respond. Like I want to send them, okay, you for sure want to start off with this combo. And then depending on your budget, I will also add in, yeah, I can peel it, peeling an orange. I can also add in a few other recommendations that I think will be good for them and their health goals. And I like will list it out, like a little, like super brief reason why. I give them the price of each one, and then don't do that. And then I share those pictures you see in that fourth slide where it shows like individual product sheets, like X Factor and the active. I share those so they even know what I'm talking about. So it's not just some like, you know, like foreign language to them, to like, they don't know what X Factor is. And so I'm sharing a quick graphic with them, which those are also in the team page. And I have them saved in an album on my phone, product sheets. It's so easy. I can just like easily share them with people. I let them know they have the free active. Obviously next month when there's not free active, this would change a little bit. But for now I'm saying, like, especially if I'm recommending active, I'm like, you also get a free, like you also get free active. So that's a super fun thing you can add in. And then I end it with the question, like I let them know all the prices. And then I say, which option are you leaning more toward? And what questions do you have for us? Super important question to end with. And they always, I'm trying to, okay, I didn't put what she said, but she was like, I want to go with like Triplex and ease. I always like giving them two options. I found really good results with that. Most often they choose the first one. They choose whatever I recommended first. Every now and then they get them all, whatever, but then they tell me what they want, and then we help make their cart. I walk them through, because right now you can't add in extra products to a welcome pack. So Megan makes them their Triplex cart, and then I just send them a quick voice text walking them through, like, okay, you're gonna click on your cart, you're gonna continue shopping, you're gonna find the ease in the active lifestyle section, add that, and then you can check out. And I just walk them through it really quick, tell them to let us know if they have questions, and they just do it themselves. I love the share cart so much. It's like the best thing ever. No information, no nothing. Like they just do it themselves. They know they're on a subscription. It tells them, and we're already talking about it, which is why I love the verbiage of this, because it says like you get a free product every 3 months when you're consistent. So it's like they already know about that. As far as like that consistency piece, and she signed up. And so this has been like the flow of like every single 3-way chat of like all the 9 people, 8, 9, I can't remember how many, but all the people she signed up. So, oh yeah, she signed up her 9th and her 10th, and 9 of them were in 3-way chats. And so they're all the same as far as like the flow. But now this was someone who was just super quick, like boom, boom, boom. She added me to the chat, like I think on Saturday, and she joined like Saturday or Sunday. So it was really quick. That doesn't always happen for them to respond so quickly. And so I wanted to show you a different variation of like what happened when the chat went silent. So this is someone who, yeah, so she added me, this is one of the very first chats she added me to. We got all the way to like, which option are you leaning more towards and what questions you have for me? And so she did not say, oh, I want to go with this option. She was like, how long does it last? I said, it comes in 30 days supply. Megan piped in and like added a fun little like, you know, soda and Starbucks thing. And then we didn't hear back from her till the next, and so the next day, and I'm actually just going to play it for you really fast because I didn't want to type out what I said. I'm just going to play you my voice text of what I said to follow up in that chat. Let me find it. Hopefully you can hear this.
Good morning. Wanted to check in and see if you had any other questions for us, Holly. I know it really encouraged me when I was thinking of getting started with this. I really couldn't afford it, but I was also just desperate to feel good again. I just wasn't able to be the mom and wife I was wanting to be because I was just always tired. My mood swings were out of control. I was just really on the struggle bus. But what encouraged me was that we had a 60-day money back guarantee on our products. So I knew I wasn't just throwing my money down the drain, trying one more thing. It's good to remember, like, our bodies are not like a quick fix as far as like we need to give it time, consistency. Our cells regenerate every 90 days. And so it's important to give things the time it needs to like heal, to balance. But most people will see some changes in their first 30, 60 days that encourages them to keep going. I know for me, I felt more energy month 1, month 2, my mood swings were like so much better. My husband said I was like a new person. And then month 4, that just consistency, drinking my water, letting my body have that time to start to balance. It was when I started to see huge changes in my health. And so just wanted to see if you have any questions or if you wanted to snag your combo and get started. I know you're going to love this so much.
Okay, so that's a voice text I sent to just follow up, kind of share like my own experience. And then we still didn't hear back from her. And so then the next day I sent something, I forget what, I accidentally sent something because I was trying to like cook and then send this and I don't even know. So I was like, oops, that happens when you try and multitask. Anyway, I came across these and wanted to share since they had similar health struggles and tagged her. And what I did is I just went to the stories page and found 2 more testimonials that she could relate to that I hadn't shared yet and just put them in there. It's just like building that belief, like this can help you with what you're looking for. And then 2 days later, and no response from that. And then 2 days later, what I did, well, actually, no, it was more than 2 days later. It was like, anyway, it was that next weekend because Megan hopped in and said something, she didn't respond. And then on that Saturday, so like, I don't know, 6 days later from like starting the chat to then, she wasn't responding. I put in a fun little sale to hopefully try to like just encourage her to go for it. And so the sale was basically free, like because they're like welcome packs are discounted, they're getting the free active. And so it's basically like they're getting 2 free products with their first time discount. Plus I added on free shipping. I just made a code in my pay portal. And that encouraged her to go for it. And so she's actually just signed up like yesterday, think it was yesterday. It took her like a little bit more than the weekend. People are busy. They just need follow up. Like most people are not ignoring you. They're not like not interested. The price didn't necessarily scare them away. It's just they literally are so busy and it's just not the first thing on their mind. And so that's where we come in as like follow up. And so if a chat goes silent, know that like get creative, like think of something, but these are just some ideas. You could totally, do other things, but throw in some more testimonials, offer a fun sale. And then I also had someone else who, one of her other girls who just signed as well, very, very similar, like the chat went silent. And so I popped in there and like we had gotten through, I didn't offer that sale to people who like we hadn't gotten through like product recommendations. This is after we'd gone through the whole convo flow. We got through all the recommendations. She saw testimonials, everything like that. I asked her like, what option are you leaning more towards and what questions do you have for me? And then like after it went silent, then I was like popping in and offering like these fun like weekend freebies, and that encouraged people to go for it. And so that was so worth free shipping. So that's just an example. And to know too, like not all three-way chats are going to like be like this dreamy experience and go from like first message to sign up in the same day. But having like a plan and a system and a flow can help you so much to know the next steps. And you can just like go through it so easily. It's so simple. And so the chances of them ordering are so much higher when you have the skill of that. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically how I do it exactly. The flow, I have a live on our team page that has like the actual verbiage written out that you can copy paste and add to your notes and tweak it. Because I totally tweaked it from when I learned from Emily Gibson, made it into my own thing, tweaked up some things, tweaked up like how I recommend products, and made it my own. And it works really, really well. And so what I would encourage you to do is like, try this exactly the way it is. And then if you feel like you need to tweak it a little bit along the way, go for it. But doing it exactly this way has worked so, so well for me. I've signed up so many people myself from doing this method, and then also in 3-way chats. Okay, just wrapping it up really quick. A few tips. Just like focusing on what you can control. Like we can't control people. It's impossible. And so like we're focusing on what we can control. Like what can we do next? The first thing, follow up. I wanted to put this in here because if I had not followed up with my other friend who I signed up in January, who then hosted an event, and then I met Megan, like I wouldn't have even like helped Megan sign up. So like follow up is so, so important. And I followed up with this friend for months, a long time, you guys, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. And she's not currently ordering, but that's okay. She loves products. It's not a good time for her. So just follow up. Most people just need more exposure, more belief that these products can help them. If you type follow up in the search bar of your team page, you're going to find some great examples and systems of like how to follow up. And you're not always following up with the same thing. Like you can follow up with a sample, offer them a sample, follow up with a testimonial they can relate to, follow up, inviting them to an event or this inflammation challenge, follow up with a sale, and then rinse and repeat. And like, you just keep like kind of that's basically the 4 different ways you can follow up. And if follow up is like a skill you need to like grow in, you can go to YouTube, type in like Plexus follow-up. There's some Christina Williams has an incredible video on like follow-up that's super helpful, and like kind of like the timeline of like how often to follow up with people. That's really helpful. So follow up. Number 2 is ask, like just ask if they want $300 in referral cash, or ask if they want you to help them earn an iPad, or ask if they'll do a shout out for you on Facebook, or ask if you can host an event for them. Like just ask, because they can say yes or no. And like, it's not going to kill you if they say no. They might say yes. And then you just never know what fruit will come from that. You never know. And you're not going to know if you don't ask. And so that kind of goes back to what John Maxwell was saying about like your comfort zone, like getting out of your comfort zone is so important. And if they don't know what they don't know if there's an iPad up for grabs unless you're telling them that, because they're probably not going to be seeing it on Facebook because they're not doing the business like you are. So just ask. It's I promise you, like that is something I've been very consistent with doing with my new signups. I haven't signed a ton of level 1s this year, but I have helped a lot of them go silver or add their first person and duplicate, because we're hosting. I'm asking them, I'm sharing about the referral cash, we're hosting events, I'm helping them make their first post. And we really never know who will end up wanting to do this. So, and then the last thing is, let me move this bar. The last thing is support. Why can't I move this? Oh, there we go. Support, lead the way, be a cheerleader, cast vision, good customer care. It's just really, really important. Like just celebrating, like, yay, like your first post, you did so great, or love your, your beautiful selfie. Just being their cheerleader, be an encourager, just stripping that like encouragement, that belief, casting vision of like, you can totally earn an iPad, or like once she earned her iPad, I'm like, you're 3 away from like, from fast starting senior silver. And then she's going senior silver now. So I'm like, well, I mean, if everyone on your team just added one person, you totally would go fast start gold. And so we're hosting an event for her next week. And we're helping her, and we're going to invite all of her team to invite people. And you never know. And so it's just, you can just like baby step and like drip little pieces of information, because you don't want it to be like this overwhelming like thing. But just being there for them and supporting them just to help them get the results that they're wanting, and providing that really good customer care. And there's awesome information on the team page about customer care that you can find if you're needing to grow in that as well. And that is, let me find this. Okay. That's that. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? Let me check the chat really quick. Yes. Okay. So Susan, the verbiage is in the team page on the live that I did about 3-way chats, and then you can just copy and paste it. It's super helpful. You just put it in the notes of your phone, and then it's easy to just grab from there. Any other questions about anything that we talked about? I tried to do a 20-minute call. I don't even know why I thought I could do it in 20 minutes, but I failed. Okay, no questions at all. All right, you all. Well, thank you so much for your patience, and all the kids running it, not all of Steele, but he feels like 3 kids running in. It's awesome that you can do this from home when your husband's at work and still be successful. You all can do this. I believe in you, cheering you on, really, really proud of you, and just so excited to see. I mean, we have, what is the day? 14th. Okay. So we have 17 days left in the month. So much time, you all. And this inflammation challenge is going to be such a blast. And I can't wait to see just all of you hit your goals and beyond. I'm praying for you. And if you need anything, let me know. Have a great night.